and comment in the chat, and I'll say hello to you. It's Wednesday, so obviously it's our favorite day of the week here. Let me just make sure I'm gonna be getting your comments here. All right, I think there's one person on here. Oh, Katie's here. What's up, Katie? I'll just kind of wait for everyone else to hop on. Make sure I'm getting your comments here too. But go ahead and tell me how your day has been. What's going on? What do you do today? And obviously, once I get your comments, I'll say hello back. Oh, we got Leah in the house. What's up? What's up? What's up? John's here. What's up? I think I'm getting... Okay. Oh, YouTube isn't working? That's weird. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm seeing it now. I see Jolie. I see Owen. Owen said good evening. Love that. So I am just gonna give you guys a few minutes, make sure everyone logs on, but we are in our Wonder series, and so I just wanted to talk about that tonight. What's up, Alan? Good to see you. Good to see you. Got the whole fam out here in the streets. I know it stinks that we had to cancel in person, but I do love that we're still able to meet online. I think that's amazing. We're all live together right now, and so Crave is never actually canceled. You know what I mean? We're still online, and we still get to hang out. And after this, we get to jump on house party, so that'll be fun too. But I will go ahead and get into the message. And so I want to share a story from Matthew 14 with you all, because it's one of my favorite stories about Jesus, and so I'm gonna hit you with it. So just say okay in the comments. All right. As soon as Jesus heard the news, he left in a boat to a remote area to be alone. And the news he was talking about is that John the Baptist had just been killed, who he was obviously good friends with, and so he went to a remote area to be alone. But the crowds heard where he was and headed and followed on foot from many towns all around. Jesus saw the huge crowd as he stepped from the boat, and he had compassion on them and healed their sick. That evening, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy food for themselves." And so Jesus was like, "That isn't necessary. You feed them." And so the disciples come back and they're like, "But we only have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish." They answered, "How are we supposed to feed all these people?" And Jesus was like, "Bring them here." And so then Jesus said, he told the people to sit down on the grass. Jesus took the 5 loaves of bread and the 2 fish, looked up towards heaven, and he blessed them. Then breaking the loaves into pieces, he gave the bread to the disciples, who then distributed it all to all the people. And they all ate as much as they wanted. And afterward, the disciples picked up 12 baskets of leftovers. 12 baskets of leftovers. And so about 5,000 men were fed that day, in addition to all the women and children. So thousands of people were fed off of 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. And I bring this up because I think in this story, it makes me think of how hurt Jesus must have been to see his disciples' response here. Right here, he was healing these people. They were performing miracles. And when it got to the point where the people were hungry and they needed to eat, the disciples said, "Send the crowds away so they can take care of themselves." I just can't imagine Jesus's reaction. Like inside, he just must have been like, "These dudes still don't get it. They still don't get it." And so here Jesus is, his whole mission is to love people, to care, and to be there for people. And his own disciples are telling this crowd, just go away. They don't matter. They can fend for themselves. And it's so unlike Jesus's character. And I think sometimes in the church, as Christians, as humans, forget the Christian part, as humans, we still want to do that today to people, right? We want to say for some reason, that person that did you wrong, or that person that's addicted to drugs, or that person that cheated, or that person that committed a crime, fill in the blank, deserves to be where they're at, right? And that they can just go and fend for themselves. Because if we're honest, that's the easier thing to do, is to put it back on them. But Jesus said, no, we're responsible for how we treat these people. Jesus in that moment was saying, I am responsible for them, and so I'm going to care for them. I'm going to make sure they eat tonight. And so I just want to tell you, the response of the disciples is not the way of Jesus, and it's not the way of the gospel. Not even a little bit. It's not Jesus's heart. And so I just think it's so important to note that Jesus could have listened to his disciples and just left the people hungry that day. He could have just attended to their spiritual needs and left them to deal with their physical hunger and their physical pain. But he didn't. He took responsibility for that too. And I think it is such a good reminder for us as Christ followers that we can't just expect to tend to people's spiritual needs and ignore the urgent physical needs. I think being like Jesus isn't all about shoving the gospel down people's throats. People wanted to be around Jesus. People loved hanging out with him. And sometimes being like Jesus is simply feeding people. Sometimes it's so simple. Sometimes it's simply telling a cashier, like, you have an awesome smile. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for what you're doing. Telling your teacher that, telling your parents that, telling your sibling that, complimenting someone. Sometimes it's rallying enough money to give to a family in need. Sometimes it's making sure your friend has a safe place to stay if they're having issues with their family or people who are around them. Sometimes it's small, sometimes it's big. And I think the whole point of it is that we don't send people away when they're in need. We actually go to them and we make it our responsibility to take care of them the way that Jesus did in that moment. And so what the disciples learned that day when Jesus said, when they said, Jesus, we only have 5 loaves and 2 fish. What do you expect us to do? Like, this is all we have. What do you expect us to do? That was the response. I think what they learned is they already had enough. Full stop. They had enough in their hands already to feed everyone. All they had to do was hand it to Jesus. And so I think, Craven Velocity tonight, I think, instead of listing the reasons as to why you're not enough, instead of listing the reasons as to why you don't have enough, I think tonight, if we just gave Jesus what was in our hand already, what we already had to work with, it would be enough. And so I think our question has to be, God, what's already in my hands? God, what is my 5 loaves and my 2 fish? What is it? And then let's simply look for creative ways to care for people, for creative ways to give to people, for creative ways to feed people, however they need to be physically fed. And so I love this story because it makes us stop and think that you can show the love of Jesus in a million ways. But no one can share the love of Jesus how you can individually. We're all different. We all learn different. We talk different. We look different. And that's an amazing thing. And so we get to love people the way Jesus does, but our way, our individual specific way. And so I just love that. And all you have to do is use what's already there, what's already in your hands. And you might be feeling like you don't have anything. you don't even have 5 loaves, you don't even have 2 fish. But I believe if you sit and you think and you try to come up with some creative ways to just love people, even if you don't feel loved, even if you don't feel filled up, sometimes stepping out and doing that for someone else can actually help too. And so let's remember the wonder of who Jesus is. I think sometimes we make him to be this big huge God up in the sky, and he's judging us and he's counting all the ways that we're messing up, and I just don't think it's true. I just don't buy that. He's the one that makes sure that we're okay. He's the one that makes sure we're fed, and he's the one at the end of the day that we have on our side. And so let's remember the wonder that is Jesus, the love that is Jesus, and the kindness that is Jesus. And let's do everything we can to multiply that this week, whatever that is. Like I said, it can be big or it can be small, but let's at least do our part to work with what we have in our hands already. And I know you can do that. I believe in every single one of you. And so thank you so much for watching tonight. I love every single one of you. And we are going to go ahead and jump on House Party so we can hang out and play some games. So I will meet you over there, and I love all of you. All right, that's all I got. And yeah, so see you on House Party. I actually don't know how to end this, so there's going to be a weird, awkward pause, but don't you worry about it. All right, bye, guys. See you on House Party.